we'll compare these particular two clubs in the history of Copa del Rey, they've been able to match up close to about 47 times only in the Copa del Rey, of which FC Barcelona had been able to win 22 times. The side of Atletico Madrid winning 15 times and 10 draws between these particular two football club sides. When you talk about most of the goals in the Copa del Rey, you talk about FC Barcelona scoring close to about 97 goals only in the Copa del Rey, and then you talk about Atletico Madrid scoring close to about 72 goals only in the Copa del Rey. So when you talk about Copa del Rey between Atletico and then Barcelona, you enjoy a lot of football and you enjoy a lot of goals because Barca actually 97 goals and Atletico it was just 72 goals on that particular peripheral. So this is going to be an interesting game between these particular two both sides. But then in the first leg, it's me course, you and I can attest to the fact that Barca etimi call into Omakasa home share 4 Emma article so 4 goals on aggregate, and the bit room in this particular second leg. Wanda Matipatano. But I will talk about the first 11 this particular tactical board as well. You're going to talk about Papa, your friend said Diego Simeone, what Timia Akache, most of these particular journalists said he's not going to play the low compactable block beam, but then he's going to play a fluid football which will allow most of his players to possess more into the attacking third in the frontal halves of Barcelona or Mancasa defensive structure. So when you look at the possible lineup, at the side of Atletico Madrid, you talk about the 4-4-2 flat formation. Diego Simeone, Atletico or Mancasa opposing half, and then you get FC Barcelona who will be riding on in the 4-2-3-1 Hansi Flick football at the side of FC Barcelona. But this time around, you wouldn't get that particular combination between Pedri and then Gavi, but then you get the combination of Pedri and Frankie de Jong in that particular tactical midfield of Hansi Flick and midfield of FC Barcelona. But then into the back four, Pau Kubasi will be laid out as the left centre back for the side of FC Barcelona. Jules Koundé will be laid out as the right full back position in that particular sense for FC Barcelona, and then Inigo Martinez as the left centre back, and then Alejandro Balde as the left full back for FC Barcelona. Over there into the attacking front, Lamine Yamal in the right wing forward, Gavi a position in that particular typical number 10 role, and then Rafinha in the left wing role for the side of FC Barcelona, and Robert Lewandowski will lead the attacking third for the side of FC Barcelona. We should expect Barca can easily conjure a particular magic for themselves. But then Diego Simeone Tactisa is not playing the low compactable system of football, but then he will try to play the 4-4-2 flat formation for himself in that particular game. But then Cesar Azpilicueta will play in that particular right full back position. Mario Gimenez Bebo in the right centre back, Clement Lenglet Bebo in the left centre back, and Ronaldo will play in the left full back position. Oshe Infinfi will be packing Marcos Llorente, Rodrigo de Paul, Pablo Barrios, and then Giuliano Simeone in that particular midfield for Atletico in Finfield, and into the attacking, the Julian Alvarez and then Antoine Griezmann will match up for the side of Atletico the side of Atletico. But then so most of the matches in this particular season between Barcelona and then Atletico, you can easily imagine Barca bought the total dominance football, that's what Omu possess very well. They actually make sure to meet Mabo in a high build-up game at the so currently on your tactical board, you can easily suggest Barca possess about the high build-up gamer. They push most of these particular opponent players into their own halves, making sure in the high build-up game with my possess a controlling game very well. In the total dominance football for Hansi Flick, it's quite different for Papa, your friend Xavi Hernandez or Coach Dima Barcelona, because with Xavi Hernandez, he will play the total dominance tiki-taka, will try to reserve back and defend very well for Barcelona. But so we'll share Hansi Flick tactical formation in the high build-up position or pushing most of these opponents into their own center back, making sure so bit press and then he will generate that positional play very well in that particular middle. So this is the high build-up of FC Barcelona when they are trying to transition into the attacking third of their opponents, and we three back in the particular moment you get Paul Kubasi, Inigo Martinez, and a Jules Koundé lining up in that particular center half. Then you get Frankie de Jong and Papa Gavi in that particular center field, making sure they will play that positional ball in the vertical axis in that particular midfield for the side of FC Barcelona. But when you talk about the positional third, the side of Atletico, because over here, Atletico will try to bring in the 4-3-2 system just for them to make sure their defensive structure will make sure man lining up together with Robert Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal into the attacking third, and then you get Papa also Rafinha, who will come from that particular right wing forward into the central midfield just to support Robert Lewandowski. So more transition they are going to just support them to make sure to create a lot of spaces for Robert Lewandowski into the attacking third. So here the second picture. Now, when they talk about FC Barcelona more transitioner, they make sure say they will actually overload in that particular right full position in Barca or Mancasa attacking third. Since all share that particular numerics now, they are 3-2-6-1. And now you get in a moment, so Rafinha will try to overload together with Papa, your friend, say Alejandro Balde in that particular right full position of Atletico or Mancasa opposing half. That means in the left flanks of Atletico or Mancasa, there's going to be a problem. So and then you may know. So when say Hans Flick, a lot of transition that going to attacking theater, we should always get in mind. Say Hans Flick will try to create a lot of overload in the right wing position of Barca or Mancasa opposing. So in that particular numerical method, you get close to about 4 players trying to pull up 3 players on the side of Atletico. When it becomes like that, Simeone will try to come back as a hybrid wing back just to support Gavi Gallan in that particular right wing forward for the side of Atletico or Mancasa opposing. So this is the clear dimension of what I was talking about. Now in the defensive structure of Atletico, you get close to about the 5-4-1 tactical formation, and the side of Diego Simeone Atletico, making sure that in the low compactable block they can easily do that particular job for the side of Atletico, the side of Atletico Madrid. But then say Papa, your friend, say Hans Flick says Makacho said he tried to create a lot of numerical superiority into the right wing position for the side of FC Barcelona. So check the number of players on the right wing position for FC Barcelona. You check close to about 4 players in the team position who very well in the right wing, making sure they will try to create a lot of overload because Atletico Diego Simeone a lot of transition. He tried to make sure to beat him there into the left wing corner of Barca or Mancasa opposing half. But so yes, then because of say Alejandro Balde, any that kind of pace, any that kind of speed, only that kind of strength to catch up with Julian Alvarez in Tino, they will try as much as possible to pin that particular left full position for the side of Atletico or Mancasa opposing half. Now we'll check it Hanu Mancasa. You get to actually have that particular point say Atletico Asia Barcelona ultimately bought that fluid football. No? Atletico Diego Simeone intimate about that fluid football that you expect. Say Barca and Madrid Asia. When Barca is playing the total dominance football, Carlo Ancelotti will try to play the 4-3-3 wide formation diamond football for Real Madrid Football Club. This is the exact position I made sure in that particular tactical board. Here you have Barca or Mancasa opposing halves. They will try to arrange in the 3-back position. In that particular transition, Pau Kobazi will try to initiate the attack. Make a lot of long pass. Frankie de Jong in that particular midfield. In the Frankie de Jong or boy in the midfield for the side of FC Barcelona, he's a total controller, not too waste about that. If you are talking about most of these midfielders who can get the ball and carry the ball from that particular midfield into the attacking third of any other opponent, you get from Frankie de Jong. So although with Pedri, he allowed Pedri to overload in that particular vertical position at the attacking third. But Frankie de Jong being played as a deep line playmaker gives Barca a lot of balance in that particular midfield because of say Pablo Barrios and then Rodrigo de Paul are static midfielders for the side of Atletico, and they don't have that kind of flair or only that kind of IQ. Frankie de Jong beats my possess Barca in FIFA and then so we should expect say Barca will try to create a lot of numerical superiority into the attacking third, but this was what I was talking about. Rafinha elbow in the right wing forward. Barca a lot of overloads. Rafinha will try to come into the central midfield of Barca because when coming into the central midfield of Barca, Marco Llorente, you're marking as a man-to-man press in that particular tactical things on your tactical board. So Marco Llorente in this particular game was playing as a left full-back position for the side of Atletico Madrid. But then when he was being issued, say only match here with Rafinha in that particular game, or follow Rafinha from that particular left full-back position into the central midfield. When it becomes like that, it leaves a hollow space into the left full position for Atletico, and Ehonum and Barca will try to use those kind of positions. Create a lot of space over there in availability to make a lot of goals. But boss, say who checking most of these games a bit in Mabaswa? Liverpool and Everton beat Messi kind in the English Premiership. Scores no, it will be over 2.5.
Why not?
Barca will win.
But
over 2.5.
Okay, she win a quick
over 2.5. Now, Liverpool and Everton beat Messi.
And now, do you know when you just why you will be a come and 2 years or you will not be a so be Adam.
Okay.
Why?
Mintiase, I say, oh, come and casa.
Calling him on Taza. Obama for phone. I don't want to call.
Me want to call. I'm on message. I'm on personal message. So I know my friend I say when to me now Osha Everton and Liverpool. This will be a crucial match because the last time Liverpool and Everton, Everton was able to win against Liverpool in that particular encounter. Now in the last games, Everton under David Moyes, they've been able to get 4 draws and just 1 win per Eddie Amom. You get Liverpool in most of these 5 matches, just 3 wins and 2 defeats for themselves. But there's also checking the starting lineup, Liverpool beating Everton in that particular English Premiership. You get to examine. Say Liverpool will try to break that particular same possible lineup at DBA. Ibrahim Konate, Van Dijk will be that 2 centre backs on either by the side of Liverpool, and Andy Robertson will become that left full back position for the side of Liverpool Football Club. Jared Konsa will become the right full back position for the side of Liverpool. Ryan Gravenberch, Alisson McAllister, Bebo that 2 static midfield role for the side of Liverpool. Dominic Soboslai, Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah Bebo into the attacking third, and then Cody Kapu will lead the attacking line for Liverpool Football Club. We say, oh, share and a slot. The tactical formation of Liverpool currently, as you speak, is quite different from the side of Jurgen Klopp, kind of fast born ball in the heavy metal football. We bought the fluid high press system of football. So he has actually made sure even the midfield of Liverpool. So when lose ball now in a split seconds, about 7 seconds, they need to get the ball back. Sir principle way Obi team initiative in his team was Pep Guardiola for Manchester City. He initiated the 3 seconds rule for himself, and then so only Pep Guardiola air ball. That's what to start dominance for that's ball now. In a split of about 3 seconds, they need to get the ball back. That is the reason why they will always contain the ball. They will always control the tempo of the ball, and that is the exact way and slot. And so initiated the 7-second principle Edema Liverpool in that particular midfield. So you get from Ryan Gravenberch and Alisson McAllister so much more in that particular midfield on the other side of Liverpool Football Club. But in Fifi Hana this particular Everton Football Club team under David Moyes is not the same under Sean Dyche, because Sean Dyche was playing the 5-4-1 formation for Everton. So only Everton or more identity Sean Dyche was 5-4-1. But then David Moyes the same. He is playing the 4-2-3-1 tactical formation for Everton, making sure James Garner and then Idris Gana Guy will be that 2 static midfielders supporting that particular role in the midfield for Everton Football Club. But boss, Liverpool will be they need to win to advance their chance of winning the English Premiership. It will be over 1.5 over Liverpool. So Liverpool win this. Win and over 1.5. Mate, Brana Betranse na enche me Ramuna me din komo kakra. But result yenya that was the Ghana Premier League no mabo